And you don't go, I got my name on a blimp. Guys, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency Theory, guys, where we're back on the channel looking at some much needed attention around Bitcoin Cash, guys. It's up right now. It's going up, and obviously it's not a massive jump. It's nothing for us to cream our pants about. It's up about 10%. But I've been watching it, guys. I've been watching over the last couple hours like a degen. And obviously, we got to keep our eye on this kind of stuff because I keep telling you, if there's that day where you wake up and it's 100% or 200% up, different than it was in March, where it went up for about 8 days, we should get excited, and that's kind of why we're kind of previewing it right now. Again, we don't want to blow it out of proportion. Everybody remembers the live stream I did back in June of 2023 or July of 2023, where I looked like my head was going to pop off my neck. Okay, we don't want to do any more of that kind of stuff. And guys, shout outs to Jeremy from the Bitcoin Cash podcast, and also shout outs to Joshua Hensley. It looks like a couple months ago, I went through and deleted a bunch of live streams. And the reason I did that was because a bunch of my live streams had gotten flagged for copyright infringement because of the background I chose. Remember, I told you guys that I've been basically like sabotaging my own channel for damn near a year. But it looks like I went to go back to pull one of Joshua Hensley's live streams just because I wanted to watch it, and I noticed it was gone. And then I looked for Jeremy's, and it was gone too. So just FYI, if you guys are catching the stream, it was not intentional to delete those streams, and just wanted to bring that up. It looks like when I went through there to delete a bunch of streams, that was one that got caught in there and somehow got deleted. So accidents happen, right? Nonetheless, guys, we're on the channel. We're looking at Bitcoin Cash tonight. Obviously, it's kind of the top performer right now for coins that are worth talking about. There's some other coins that are kind of, they've been kind of hot recently, but I still don't think that some of these coins are even worth our time to look at, honestly. And we'll see kind of how they play out. But, like, I know people on YouTube have been talking about them. I watch the traffic, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. It's hard for me to jump in on a coin that's so new. It's hard for me to jump in on a coin that doesn't have mining. It's hard for me to jump in on a coin that just seems like a fad. It doesn't. A lot of these coins that are out there today, they just kind of seem like a fad, right? Like Popcat. I mean, come on, guys. It's up 40. It's up 25% today. But are you guys really, watching these? I mean, this Near coin, obviously, there's some out here that are okay. I think they're going to be around for a while, but nonetheless, guys, Bitcoin Cash is up about 11%. It's a top gainer right now. So we'll see how this kind of goes into tomorrow. BSV down a bit. It's not really catching up to it. I'd like to see, at the beginning of the year, we saw Bitcoin Cash and BSV kind of rally. I don't want to say in sync because a lot of people were saying the whole rally was happening because of the Craig Wright case. And then, like, I don't remember what the excuse was for Bitcoin Cash rallying. It kind of just happened out of nowhere. And a lot of times we see these kind of things happen, and the people that kind of talk crap about these coins kind of go into hiding, and they're like nowhere to be found. So we don't really have the answers for everything. We can only go on the price today. But I was looking at the log chart earlier on Bitcoin Cash. I'll pull it up for you. See if we're on here. So, I mean, the log chart's looking pretty good, guys. I mean, this is kind of where every time that the log chart has gone near this, and obviously, guys, we're looking at log, not linear. The graph looks much different. The criticism always comes from this graph, but then when we switch it to log, it kind of paints a different picture, because you guys know in math that the log graph is not equal proportions between the y-axis in terms of the data points. So obviously, when you're looking at a linear graph, each one of these points has equal space between it. So you interpret the graph a lot more differently. Here you can kind of see the momentum a little bit better. That's why we're bringing it up here on the channel this evening. So looks like something here about Bitcoin Cash hash rate surpasses 10 exahashes per second on September 17. It continues to increase, reaching. We'll pull that up here too. I didn't notice that. I didn't even look. Kind of just jumping up here on spur of the moment here. But it looks like Bitcoin Cash is rallying right this second. It's at 350. It's at 350. Nonetheless, guys, we just wanted to pull it up. I also got some other stuff we could take a peek at. Pull up the Hope you're doing well, guys. Hope you're doing good. Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to be back. Glad to have you here on the channel. We will pull up the hash rate on Bitcoin Cash. Is that what should we be looking at here? Okay, let's see here. I don't know. I don't see that much of a crazy influx. I don't know where that person is getting that information from, but maybe it's relevant. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to cut him short here. We're not the most tech savvy here on the channel, so we just kind of have to act and pretend like we know what we're talking about here. But I don't see major jumps on the hash rate. So, I don't know if that's just somebody kind of filling the chat here. It had me look into it though. So you won your goal there. Obviously, it's almost like it doesn't matter what kind of news is around a coin, guys. If the coin's going up, it's gonna gain its own news, irrespective of whatever news. It's gonna get its own attention, irrespective of the news that's being shown, right? That's what we kind of noticed with crypto. It's kind of like the Bitcoin ETF, right? We saw BSB and Bitcoin Cash go up. So, news is kind of just the news at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's not really indicative of like a specific reasoning for something, even though the news tries to make it sound like that's kind of the case every time. But anyways, we'll look at some of the charts. We'll look at some of the stuff here. Obviously, Bitcoin Cash people will likely come into the channel, but nonetheless, we just try to see kind of what's going on, what's kind of unfolding with this stuff. Obviously, if we continue to increase in price, it's going to gain a lot more traction rather than if we just kind of go up and fizzle down into the morning hours or by the end of the evening or something like that, right? If we wake up tomorrow and it's 30% up, we're a little bit more excited than if we wake up in the morning and we're 5% down. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, I did want to pull up a topic here that is kind of well, let's go back to Bitcoin Cash price, obviously. So what I was going to say is like when we look at the log chart, it seems like every time we go into the green right here on this, I don't know if this is like I don't know what this line mathematically, what they have that is showing this, but obviously it goes into the green. That's when it kind of goes bullish. But my point is every time it's gone into the green, it's gone into the green for a period of time. Now, obviously we're not there yet. I don't want to overexcite when there's no need to be, but if we keep going and we enter that green, this last time this happened, we went up to over $600. So, not saying for sure, not saying, obviously, looks like we're kind of fluctuating here in price, but nonetheless, we are in the green. So I figured it'd be worth talking about. So what I was going to bring up, let me pull it up here. There's been a lot of talk on the internet. There's been a lot of talk on YouTube, a lot of talk everywhere about the federal funds rate. Obviously, you guys watch the news. I don't have to tell you, they cut it a half a basis point today, right? So they've been kind of holding it steady, or whatnot. And they finally did their first cut. Everybody's anticipating the 0.25. They did the 0.5, which obviously is a little bit more aggressive. So what I have here is I have a chart pulled up from since the Genesis block of BTC. I think it was January 9th. I think it was the day of the Genesis block, 2009. First Bitcoin block ever mined by Satoshi Nakamoto. So I have this chart pulled up of the federal funds rate during the entire point in time. And I'm just wanting to kind of look at it and kind of show you some things. Like a lot of the gains, guys, the majority of the gains, and I have a full Bitcoin price chart from the beginning of time, not just one of these charts that's just like since 2015, which is, a lot of the charts you'll see, right? But I just want to throw this out there, guys. During the January of 2009 to May 2011, I mean, it's fucking almost over 15 years ago now at this point. This coin, Bitcoin, went from under 10 cents all the way to $17 or $29, okay? Obviously, that wasn't the only jump. We can zoom out and see that there were multiple jumps. All I'm saying is if we look at the federal funds rate, it looks like the majority of the biggest gains in Bitcoin happened at low interest rates, right? Even here, even during COVID. Now, Obviously, the jump in 2017 to 2000 or 2016 to 2017 was monumental as well. I don't remember exactly where BTC was trading. I think it was under $1,000 in 2016. Let's pull it up just for clarification purposes. But obviously, it went to 20 grand, right? So I mean, obviously, that's a pretty good jump too. But I mean, there's a big difference in under 10 cents to $29, and then a little under $1,000 to 20 grand. That's a huge percentage. That's like we're talking monumental differences in price jumps. So you would say obviously that let's see, 2016, yeah. So Bitcoin was about January, so about $400. So what was that? 20x 3. So that'd be like what? 120x. So 60x. Is that right? Is that the math on that? Six, yeah, something like that. So my point is this straight line down here that looks almost non-existent. Like people aren't even looking at this straight line down here because it's so far down there. It's when Bitcoin was under, like $500-600. But when we look at the federal funds rate, it looks like Bitcoin behaves the best at, almost zero interest rates, right? At least if we look at the price perspective, 2016. This is kind of when they started raising the rates, right? And then obviously in July of 2016, this is when we saw the massive altcoin run, right? We saw the massive altcoin run. So I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe it'd help if I actually had the graph on the screen, but I just wanted to throw it out there because obviously, we look at these type things on the channel, and I'd like everybody to just be aware that it seems like Bitcoin price and crypto prices seem to move the most in lower interest rate environments, right? We see that by the graph here on the federal funds rate being at almost near zero. Last financial crash, boom. And I'm not going to zoom out because Bitcoin wasn't around, but we see that the biggest gains were actually made here, right? Like the biggest percentage gains per se. Nobody was even talking about Bitcoin really that I know of, at that point in time. But I just wanted to bring that up and share that with you guys. Obviously, it's not the most obvious stuff, but we keep hearing, the reason I bring it up is because we keep hearing people talk about, oh, well, if they drop the interest rates, it's going to make Bitcoin and, all these things go up. And I think people are right on that, but I also think that it's also inaccurate to say because obviously we had higher interest rates here, and this was a pretty substantial gain in terms of, we were at $500 for quite a while. And then we kind of, we were in between 250 and $500 for damn near over a year, right? So I don't know. Is it worth talking about? Yeah. Is it worth something focusing about? I don't know. I mean, it's not an end all be all, but nonetheless, here we'll shift back over here to Bitcoin Cash. Obviously, we got Bitcoin Cash people in the chat. I'm hoping. Obviously, guys, I got my QR code in the top right corner. If you want to ever send me Bitcoin Cash, it's always fun to get those little micro payments. But I wanted to jump on here, guys, and just let you guys know that it can be a fast-moving coin, right? It doesn't have to be, tomorrow or next week. It could be, I'm not throwing it out there, but it could be. I'm just letting you guys know from what we see on the graph here, when we look at Bitcoin Cash on a log graph, not a linear, it really does look, and I'll just say it again, it really does look every time we go close to this line on CoinMarketCap right here, we pretty aggressively go into the green, okay? And it's happened a few times, and we stay in the green for a period of time. That's also a really important thing. Like over here, we stayed in the green for a couple months, okay? Like 5 months. Obviously, if you guys were a BTC holder at $500, you guys were having a great time selling your Bitcoin Cash fork at $3,500, $700, $1,100. Really didn't matter where, if that's what your goal was, just to get more dollars, while your BTC was fluctuating between 10 and 20,000, right? I mean, it seems like a pretty good way to look at this crypto stuff. So nonetheless, this chart is not an in-depth chart. It's just a chart that I think is worth looking at. I think when you guys are looking at crypto prices, it makes a lot more sense to look at the log charts, okay? Because it becomes very confusing on where the opportunity is when you start zooming out. And you're like, holy shit, this coin's dead. You hear plenty of people talking about Bitcoin Cash and other coins just being dead, but I always bring up Dash when we talk about Bitcoin Cash just because I think it's kind of fun too, because the graphs are so similar, right? Obviously, Dash has been around a lot longer than Bitcoin Cash, but it's also a good starting point because if we look at Dash Coin, right here. I don't know what's going on with CoinMarketCap. I don't know if it's my mouse or what, but it seems like it just doesn't. Here we go. We'll just zoom in manually. I can't do that. My point is, guys, is if we cut out the main part of Bitcoin Cash, which was after 2018, right here, it's almost kind of the same graph. It's almost the same graph, obviously. And I've heard people talk about it. I've kind of bought into the idea, too, that a lot of these altcoin graphs tend to look the same, which can be a good or bad thing, depending on where you got in, obviously. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to zoom in. I don't understand what's going on. You guys having problems with CoinMarketCap? Seems like every time they're fucking up something. Binance, get it together. But nonetheless, guys, we always hear people talk about Bitcoin Cash, and the reason I bring up Dash, Dash is down to $25. Can you believe it? But if we look at the former prices of Dash, it was one of the better performing coins in 2017 bull run. Still did pretty good in 2021. To be fair, it went down to $63 and then up to 400. So, that's a pretty solid gain, guys, for an altcoin. And it's down to $25 now. If it goes back up to $400 or $250, you're up at 10x. So, the only reason I bring it up is because the graphs on Bitcoin Cash look similar. So, if we look at the log graph, what I was just telling you, I got the whole graph of Dash right here, all the way back to 2014. It looks like it's doing pretty good, guys. It's up 11,576%. Obviously, it's at $25. So people that got in way up here or in a bull run, yeah, they're not looking too good. But if you got down anywhere before 2017, you're doing great. You're doing pretty damn good. And what I'm showing you here, guys, is when you look at a log graph, and we'll bring up Bitcoin Cash back up on the screen here. What's that? So, Litecoin is just so much steadier, cheaper, it has much more long-term potential. Yeah, you could trade your Bitcoin Cash for Litecoin right now. I think a lot of different altcoins are going to do good, guys. And if I was aggressively buying crypto right now, which I told you, hopefully, I'm hoping the prices stay down. Obviously, I want them to go up too. I'm just saying, if I can get paid before the prices shoot up, I'm going to go in on some of these lower market cap coins. I might buy some Bitcoin Cash too, but I already got Bitcoin Cash. It's I got a lot of it, so it's one of my it's one of my biggest holdings that I have in my crypto portfolio. But I want to go in on some smaller market cap coins like Dash and Zcash, just because I think it makes more sense where we're at right this second. Obviously, I'm going to be buying Bitcoin Cash forever. I'm just saying, right at the given moment, it makes a little bit more sense if I'm coming in with new dollars, right? That's just kind of my opinion on it. So what were we talking about here? Okay, so Bitcoin Cash on this price chart on the log graph right now, we're going to zoom back out again, it looks like if we go into the green again, we might go to $2,000 to $4,000, obviously, because if we go back in the green, we're going to be in a bull market state, which is the same bull market state we were here, right? Same bull market state we were in here. So obviously we can come to the conclusion that in a bull market state, Bitcoin Cash is going to do fairly well, okay? It's going to do fairly well. Last bull market, from the very low, it went from 90 to, I think it went to 600. I know it's showing 1,400. Obviously, we're not going to catch every little gain on this graph because it probably went to 1,700 briefly, maybe for only a day or a few hours or a couple days, So it's hard for us to, really throw that out there. But we'll say it went to 1,400. It's done over 10x, which I think we can almost bake in here. Saw a fucking mosquito. And my point is we can almost guarantee, and Litecoin too, Beauty and the Beast, that's kind of the thing, is we'll almost guaranteely see a 10x, I think, in most altcoins that are mineable, that have a finite supply, that have tokenomics built into them. Now, on the scam coins, the ones most people are talking about on the internet, you guys are on your own on those. They might do very good, but they'll likely not do very good when you're in them. They'll be after you sell them that they'll do very good. So it's just kind of just a bet. People that are going on some of these meme tokens, I feel really bad for you guys, because even if they go up, a lot of times what I was doing during Solana going up to $200 when we saw the whole bonk and all these other little meme tokens rally, you'd go on the wallets and you wouldn't even be able to get out of the coin. So who gives a fuck if a coin goes up to a 10x or a 20x, you can't even sell it till it comes back down to where you bought it. And that happens a lot of times, guys. That happens so often. That's why the coins that we're talking about here on the channel, they might not be the best in price now. They might be the best in price later. But there's one thing: you can even the lower market cap coins that we talk about, like Zcash and Dash, you can at least get out of them. You know, it's not if that is your goal, because obviously you're trying to capture gains. I mean, we're not going to bullshit you here. We're obviously trying to capture gains, and if you can't get out of a coin, that is a problem. That was a big thing with Solana at over $200. I went onto the Exodus wallet and you couldn't even get out of the coin. You know, you couldn't even send it, you couldn't receive it, you couldn't swap it. So where's the fun in that, guys? Like, where's the opportunity in that? My point is you got to make sure you can get out of a coin. And obviously, I know Beauty and the Beast here is touting Litecoin. I think Litecoin's great. I think Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, and I think most of the coins that you see here on the top of the screen here are going to at least do a 10x. They're going to at least do a 10x. Obviously, no guarantees, but if we look at history and history repeats itself, it does a 10x from the top to bottom. At least, guaranteed. And I don't mean the very bottom. Somebody was talking about that in the comments the other day. When I say bottom, guys, I don't mean the very fucking bottom. I know for definitive purposes, yes, that is accurate. But for the purposes of the channel, whenever I say a bottom, it's just somewhere here on the bottom. Because I don't expect anybody on the channel to ever be getting in at the very bottom. You know, where was there any accountability when that happened before? My point is I don't ever expect anybody to get in at the very bottom of the coin. Like, yeah, if you do, that's great. I got some purchases at Bitcoin Cash at $78, at $87. But the majority of my coins aren't purchased there. You know, I got a pretty good price on my Bitcoin Cash. Most of them are in like the 200 range, 170. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. My point is it's not just about getting into a coin and watching it go fucking to the moon. It's about when it gets to the moon, do you have a way to get out and be in a moon suit to actually enjoy your gains? You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I think you can guarantee with Bitcoin Cash specifically, is that if you're trading it or if you're sending it, we did get a little bit of slowness back to 2000 or at the beginning of the year in March, where Bitcoin Cash spiked up. But I think with the block size adjustment, I don't think we're going to have any issues there. There was a little bit of a slowdown on the confirmations. I don't know exactly the technical aspects to exactly explain to you guys what was going on there, so I'm not going to pretend I do. All I know is it was a little bit slower than normal. The Bitcoin Cash Network fees were a little bit higher than normal. They weren't absurd or even crazy, but obviously that happened in the course of about 8 days. So I'm assuming by the adjustable block size limit upgrade that they did a couple months ago, has it been a couple months? Has it been a year? I don't even know. Everything just runs together with crypto, guys. I'm assuming that the throughput and the amount of transactions that won't be an issue anymore. And it wasn't really an issue there. I just bring it up because it was a little bit more expensive. I think it was about 6 months ago. Yeah, I think that's what happened, back in March. The transaction rate, the hash rate, for briefly, I'm talking briefly, guys. It wasn't like it was down. You know, it wasn't down anything. It was just a little bit slower than normal. It's because the price shot up, people are piling into it, the transaction rate spiked, transaction cost spiked, and it was just the network a little bit slower than normal. It was still fast, it was still instantaneous almost, or within a couple seconds you could get your transaction received. It's just the confirmations were taking a little bit longer. So my point is that's probably not going to be an issue anymore, I don't foresee. But what is an issue is, like I said, is coins like Litecoin, coins like Bitcoin Cash. You can guarantee one thing, and that's you're at least going to be able to trade, send, receive coins, and able to actually get out of them if you're trying to trade them, say, for a stable coin or for dollars or getting the exchange to cash out. If you're trying to trade crypto, you got to stay in coins that are going to you're going to be able to get out of. It's like probably the most important thing that I've seen. It's probably one of the biggest overlooked things as well. Is people will jump on the meme train, they'll ride the meme train up, and then they're like, holy fuck. You never hear about these people because they lose everything. They can't get out of these coins, they can't get out of these tokens, and then what happens? The price just falls back down, and then all of a sudden the network is able to process your transaction, and you're able to basically capture no gains. So again, I'm trying to capture a lot of gains. That's why we're talking about altcoins. That's why we've always been more on the altcoin side. But I also spin the coins too. So obviously if I'm spinning a coin or I'm not in a coin, I don't want to be in a coin that I can't get out of, or, you know, a coin that is a token. You know, we don't talk about a lot of tokens on here. So I think it makes sense for everybody on this channel, for the purposes of watching this channel, to look into Bitcoin Cash, to look into Litecoin. Obviously, we have Litecoin people in the chat. So these are coins that you're going to be able to get out of no matter pretty much wherever you're at. All the exchanges that have these, there's at least enough liquidity as people are coming in that if you're trying to dump, or if you're trying to sell your coin or swap your coin or go into a stable coin for a few months or a few weeks or a day or a night or 10 seconds, you're at least able to do that in a reasonable amount of time. You're not going to be waiting fucking hours for a confirmation. You're not going to be waiting hours to see if you can get out of your coin as the token drops down. This was a huge problem back with me in 2017, guys. I went into Monaco token and I captured quite a bit of gains, and then as it really shot up, I was already out. Actually. In fact, I did lose some gains on that, but I remember my roommate at the time. We were watching it, and he was still all in it. And I remember as it dropped, it was happening so fast, guys. It dropped so fucking fast, he could not even get the exchange to process his sell order. Every time he'd go to try to manually do it or even set a limit order, it would just keep falling. So that's my point, is like a lot of these coins exist in these higher gains. I think a great coin to reference that we get a lot of feedback here on the channel is Digibyte. You know, people are always talking about Digibyte. I don't make enough videos about it, but it's kind of like one of these coins where like you're either in the position before you unload, you know, before you let go of the coin or sell the coin or swap the coin or trade the coin. But if you're coming into Digibyte as it's going up, like good luck. Good luck getting in, because that's the crazy part about crypto, guys. It's not really necessarily about coming in at the right time. It is, but when it's in a bull market, that gets thrown out the window. You're either already in the coin, ready to execute your trade, or you have your limit orders set. You know, people were saying to me the other day, make sure your limit orders are set. My point is like, yeah, that's true. But if I'm in a coin that I can get out of, and I know that there's liquidity there, like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and like I said, even the smaller market cap coins, Zcash and Dash, I don't have a problem getting out of those coins. And I know it's a bit repetitive, guys, but we see the same type mistakes being played over and over and over again in this space. And a lot of people, like I said, as they're coming in, they don't realize those market orders they're buying are simultaneously, they're just trying to get in the coin. Those market orders are simultaneously building up price pressure. You know, the dollar appreciation is pushing the coin up, and the people that are already in positions are the ones that are creating that bull market jump, especially in the altcoins. That's what I think is going to happen in Zcash and Dash almost overnight. I think Zcash and Dash will be like a Digibyte type coin in the sense of you're either in these coins or you're out of these coins. And I think Zcash specifically, you've seen that happen over the last couple months. Specifically about a month ago, we saw Zcash barrel up 40% from like an all-time low. And that's going to be what we see play out. We're going to see altcoins basically overnight just shoot up. Now I haven't changed on XRP. We're going to basically see altcoins just shoot up. And if your goal is to capture gains, you got to be in them now, guys. You can't be getting in them as they're going up, especially if you're trying to come in like a knucklehead buying a market order. Yeah, you might get 200-300%, but I'm looking for 8. I'm looking for 12. I'm looking for 15, 20x. Is that crazy to think in the investment world? Yeah. Has it happened multiple times in coins that I've held? Yeah. So I expect it to happen again. And to catch those gains, you have to be ready. You have to be in coins that you can actually sell off and know that wherever you're making that trade, they're going to accept and process your sell order because there's enough liquidity to do so. That's the problem, like I said, with these memes, these meme tokens. The creators of these tokens have simultaneously, through mathematics, built out sell orders where when you're coming in, that graph could go up 20x in a day. You're still not going to get out of it. That's the crazy part. And I say that very like, obviously I'm exaggerating, right? That's an exaggeration, but it's kind of true. We've seen coins go up 200-300% in a week. And you're hearing everybody talking about it going up, but you look at your wallet, you look at the exchange, all the fucking wallets are disabled, and all the non-custodial wallets don't have access to any kind of swapping or trading pair because the network's down or something stupid. That is the one thing that you're going to find here on the channel, guys. At the top of your screen, you're going to find coins that you can get out of. It's not always about getting in at the perfect time. In the bull market, like I said, throw that out the window. It's about, can you get out at the perfect time? Can you trade at a perfect time? Can you swap at a perfect time? In a lot of cases, for most coins, I would say most coins, the answer is no. There's 2 million coins, according to Binance, 2.4 million different type markets, 2.4 million different type coins. Each one of those coins has a different circulating supply. Each one of them has a different development team. Each one of them has a different community. And I would say if not most, 95% of these coins, good luck on fucking getting out of them if they go up. If they do, if you have one of these coins that you're just so bullish on, that you think is so great, but it's just built on nothing but hopes and dreams and no tokenomics, no mining, no nodes, no finite supply, good luck. And I really mean that, because I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys get gains. But for most of these tokens and stuff people are talking about on YouTube, you're simply, if they do go up, you're simply either coming in like a knucklehead, giving the opportunity for the dev team to dump on you, or you're not going to be able to get out of it. It's just been my personal experience. And I don't see that being any kind of change. I don't see anything changing there. So, all right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. I just wanted to give a quick little update to the Bitcoin Cash community. Obviously, we're repping Bitcoin Cash colors there on the screen. So if you like Bitcoin Cash, if you like some of the stuff we're talking about on the channel, give me a like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys soon. Take care.